In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 different backpacks that I have and which ones I use the most. There's the Backlight 18L by MindShift ThinkTank, Backlight 26L, Backlight Elite 45L, and I got the Tetris 500 from Tragopan. As a little caveat, these bags were all given to me. I've not paid for any one of them, but I've been offered camera bags from the main brands of camera bag manufacturers, and I've declined because I'm very happy with the bags that I have. They cover everything that I need them for, except when I go camping and I need a lot of gear, in which case I will use my Osprey big backpack and I will just put some camera gear in there with all my camping gear. So in this video, I thought I would go through each of the camera bags, show you how much I can fit into each one and go through the pockets and all that. And stay tuned until the end and I'll tell you what I use each bag for and which bag I probably use about 90% of the time. First off is the Backlight 18L from MindShift ThinkTank. And really nice small bag and really lightweight. It's easy to take with you. When you use the hip belt, you can also leave the camera bag on the side like this so you can open it up without even having to put it down on the ground if you prefer that. Now, you can fit surprisingly a lot into this bag, though I do find that the Mzuko 150 to 400 with the 1.25 teleconverter built in is a little bit too big for this bag. I've done a video covering this bag in detail, so I'm not going to go through this bag here. If you want to see more details about it, I'll put the link to the video up here and in the description below. And I'm going to show you through the Backlight 26L, which has the exact same layout, it's just a bit bigger. So a little rundown of the Backlight 26L. I'll open it up first and you can see inside. I have this filled up with gear now. I don't always carry all of this with me, but I thought I would just show you what it can fit. So right now I have got the 150 to 400 millimeter with the 1.25 teleconverter Mzuko lens with an OM1 Mark II attached. That fits in to one side. I then have an OM1 with a 40 to 150 millimeter f2.8 attached. That fits into the other side. I keep it on its side. I have the OM5 with a 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8 attached. And then I have 3 smaller lenses. I got here the 8 to 25 f4, the 20 millimeter f1.4, and I got a macro 60 millimeter f2.8. I also have now, this is the waterproof bag that you need to put on the side if you want to keep it with you. That is one of the downsides. Usually I just leave this in my cupboard and I forget about it. The pouch for batteries, which actually is also ThinkTank, blower. So that all fits neatly flushed in the bag. Now one thing I want to say about the Backlight bags is that the depth of it isn't that big. So as you can see here now, my 150 to 400, I need to keep the handle of it kind of at an angle on the side. If I keep this straight up like that, it would poke into my back and it would really be very uncomfortable to carry for the rest of the day. If I keep it all the way to the side, it eats too much room into the bag. So then I would have less in it. So I need to put it at an angle to use it. So that is one thing. If you're thinking about getting the smaller Backlight bags, not so much of an issue for the Elite 45, but for these smaller ones here, there isn't, the depth might be an issue if you have really big chunky gear, and that can kind of go into the side of the back. So you can't go too much this way, if you know what I mean. But I've kind of figured out exactly how I can have it. And like this, everything sits flush underneath. Now the Backlight bags also have these meshed pockets, really handy for putting small bits of things in there. Again, you don't want to make that too bulky because that eats into the room that's in the bag. So small things. I'll keep cloths, Allen keys, some of the covers and caps for the cameras and that sort of stuff in here. These little clips here, they actually come with a little strap that you can put around your neck. So if you do have this bag open in front of you, you can put that around your neck to hold this open so it doesn't just fall back down. I've taken it out because I rarely use it. It's got really nice big pockets, 1 liter bottle. It's quite fat. You can easily fit that onto the side here. It's got the strap up here if I want to put a tripod in there. and exactly the same layout on the other side. So usually I have a pair of binoculars here. On the side here, sits very nicely there, and if you sit it right, you can just about reach it from the back. Also, tripod fits very nicely in here. Now, if you're using both of these pockets, there's also another way of having your tripod up front here. There is a pocket underneath here, or a little pouch rather. It comes out with a strap on the side of it, and there's another strap up here. It's even got a little symbol that says tripod. That comes out here. So I can put now, this tripod isn't big enough to use that one. But I could just extend this part or the legs or anything like that on the tripod if it's a small one, in case I want to attach it like that. And I can sit there. Handy to have, but I don't use it that often. As you can see here, I just attached the hip belt on the back here, and that's because I don't tend to put that much gear into this bag, or I don't tend to go for that long of walks with it. When I do, obviously I'll take it around and I'll strap it to my hip. But I have to say that these bags are really sturdy, and they're really, it's really tough material, so I will put my bag down in all sorts of weather and mud and dirt and all that, and just wipe it down when I come home, and they can take a lot. Other than that, there is a small pocket up here, which you can put some, flashback to COVID times, and my highlighter. That's where that is. All right, haven't used that pocket in a while. Got a small pocket up here. I'll usually put all my snacks and things like that in here. It's a fairly decent sized pocket. Use it all the time. It's got these here, so handy to attach extra bits and bobs. And at the bottom, it also has these loops, so you could attach more stuff to the bottom here if you wanted to. I will usually have a foldable mat that I put in front of here, and I'll use these really handy little holes here for putting a little bungee cord through, and I'll hold in my mat like that. Main compartment up front, also very big. You can see here, it's got a protected pad here for the laptop in here. So you can have a picture of a laptop there and a tablet here, which could fit in here, but also put other bits and bobs, other camera gear, little pen holders, and a fairly decent sized space in here as well. So all in all, decent amount of room in this bag at only 26 liters. Now the Backlight Elite 45 has a lot of room in it, and it's got a lot of side straps that you can use to put additional items onto it. So underneath here, you can take out these straps. Same for up here. So you can put a tripod into the pocket, use these to strap it in. I haven't customized the Elite 45 for a while, so that's actually quite open. But as you can see here, I can fit everything that I had in this bag in here, but there's more depth to it as well. But other than that, for this particular insert, there isn't too much difference on the 26L to the what you can fit inside for the camera gear, at least on the 45L. But there's so much more other places you can put gear into the 45L, and it's not so constrained by the depth as these bags might be. So it depends on what kind of gear you have, what you want to fit into here. I'll put the dimensions of the bags in the description below, so have a look at that if you want to see exactly what you can fit into these bags. And also you'll get a lot more of these inserts with the bags themselves, but I've taken out a lot, and I've even swapped for a different bag to make it fit exactly the way I want it. So this is my layout for the 26L, which kind of fits exactly the kind of gear that I use the most. For this here, I think the last thing I added in here was also the 150 to 600 with the camera body. So I would just have two really big lenses with a camera attached in here, and I could just have them side by side. That was my main gear for Dovlat earlier this year when I was trying out the 150 to 600 and the new OM1 Mark II. If you don't fill it absolutely to the max, this will also fit in most airlines as carry-on luggage. If you fill up the top here, it might not work, but You can also take that off if you have. You can just walk on with this on the side and leave it like this. I'd have to say it's a very tough bag. Like, it can really take a lot of abuse when you're outside, and I've put this bag through a lot. This is actually a camera bag insert, so you could buy smaller inserts, and that'll give you more room and kind of real estate up here if you wanted to put other stuff in this bag. Same again, you got the zipped pockets up here with mesh in it, so you can put all sorts of stuff in here you might need. It's got a very comfortable hip belt on it. It can actually come off. There's Velcro on the inside, so that can come out if you don't want to use it with it. Like a lot of hiking bags, it's got a pocket on the side here, so you can fit a lot of snacks or small camera gear. Big meshed pockets on the side, and it's got the clip up top here to strap in anything long like a tripod. There is a pocket up front here. It's got these loops on the lid with extra straps. You can attach even more on top. You can also extend these back rims so that you lift up the lid so you can have even more. In between the top here, you can have a tent or anything like that in here. And it's got attachment on the inside of this hood if you want to secure anything in between here. So they really thought this through. It can really take a lot. Front here, as I said, I've taken these out. I often use it with putting, easily fit a hide or anything like that in front here, carry that. It's got the same pocket on the bottom here, so I can put a tripod in here, use these to strap it in. Loops at the bottom here for extra things you might want to put at the bottom, like a pad or anything like that, roll-up pad or anything. And these loops with a little bungee cord here, so you can attach even more things to the outside of the bag. There is a pocket up front here, very big, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there. This has got a really big space here, big pocket at the bottom here for laptop or hydration pack. Same as the other Backlight bag, it's got this opening up here to make a smaller pocket. This has a mesh in it, and I have peanuts in there. And big opening here for loads of extra bag. And up top, unzip that, and this basically just sits on top of the bag insert. So if you have a smaller insert, there's going to be a lot more space for you here. And there's also a little zipped meshed pocket in here with one of these for your keys. So a really handy bag. You can fit so much on it. And yeah, really like this bag. I've taken it through a lot. So on the inside here, it's got a little Velcro, so unattach those. 4 Velcros, and you can take the insert. Now the very handy thing about this, that can be zipped up, and it's got these straps here, so you can use it as a small backpack. Now this was actually really useful for me one time when I came back from Dovre. I've been in Norway, went to Dovre when I always use this bag, and I had too much gear with me for the flight back home. So what I did was put all my expensive camera gear in this. I carried this on the flight, and I used this as an extra check-in bag. So I paid a small amount to use this as an extra check-in bag, and I filled this up with other stuff that I didn't need to be so careful with. Check that in along with my big backpack that I always fly with, and I can go home with this. You know, it's a really handy way to just get extra, an extra bag when you need it. Wow, that's been here for a long time. And more peanuts. Now the Tragopan Tetras 500 is an incredibly value for money bag. You can fit a lot of gear into this, and it doesn't cost that much. It's got expandable pockets up front, kind of like you get in a suitcase. On the Tragopan YouTube channel, I've done a walkthrough of this bag, so I'll put a link to it here if you want to see all the specs of this bag. One thing I really like about this bag is that the waterproof cover is actually built in to the side here. It sits pretty flush, so you can even have a tripod on the outside. Unzip these and you got the waterproof cover underneath here. Now, thank you so much for staying to the end, and now I'm going to tell you which bag I use the most. The Backlight 18L used to be my go-to day-to-day bag. Super small, lightweight, but I could fit the gear that I needed in it. However, when I got my 150 to 400, there's a little bit of tight space. I can still fit it, but I couldn't fit that much else in it. So that's when I got myself the Backlight 26L. And that is my go-to day-to-day bag that I will use pretty much 90% out of the time when I'm out for photography. The Elite 45 is my go-to bag when I'm needing a lot of extra gear, such as when I go to Dovra for winter and photograph the muskox. I need a lot of warm clothes with me, all these kind of extra things. This is my go-to bag. Also, when I'm putting a hide onto the bag or anything like that, this bag or the Tragopan 500 are ideal for that. You can fit a lot of extra gear on it. You can easily attach hides to them. I did bring this bag to Costa Rica, but I thought that was a mistake because it got really hot and humid. So this is a bit too much bag for me and what I need. So now for most of my trips, even when I went to Africa earlier this year, I brought this bag. If there's anything you're wondering about the bags that I can answer, I'll happily do so. If it's just the measurements that I don't have, you might as well just check the MindShift ThinkTank website. I'll put down a link, which is an affiliate link for the bags from MindShift. So if you would use them, thank you very much. You don't have to, you might find cheaper deals elsewhere. For the Tragopan, you can get a 5% discount from the Tragopan shop, tragopan-shop.com. Use Espen5 as a promo code and you get 5% off. I've been getting a lot of questions about bags and what I use, what fits what, so I hope this helps and clarifies some of that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.